Hey guys, and welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to be going over loops in Python. So let's get started. So first, let's go over the overview of today's video. So first, we're going to be going over loops and what are loops. Then we're going to be going over while loops and the else statement in while loops. Then we're going to be going over for loops and the else statement in for loops. Then we're going to be going over the break statement. So what is the break statement in while loops and in for loops? Then the continue statement. So what is the continue statement in while loops and for loops? And finally, nested loops. So what are nested loops? So let's get started. So what are loops? Loops repeat pieces of code until a particular condition is fulfilled. The main types of loops are while loops, for loops, and nested loops. Loops are the basics in all programming languages, not just Python. So basically, loops just like repeat a piece of code, and different types of loops like work a little bit differently, and we'll go over that later in the video. But loops are not just in Python. They're in like lots of programming languages, and they're the basics for lots. Like they're like one of the first things you learn when learning different languages. So it's a really important concept, especially in Python. So while loops. A while loop is a loop that repeats a piece of code until the certain statement is false. So we have an example right here. We have our starting value, which is equal to 1. Now we have while I is less than 6, print I, and it'll increment by 1. So in our output, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can see right here, it prints until 5 because once it reaches 6, 6 is no longer less than 6. So it stops right there because the condition now becomes false. So the loop only runs until it is true. And once it reaches a point where it's false, it'll stop the loop. And you can see right here, our increment is 1, so it'll only go by 1 each time. And there's a little reminder here saying, remember to always increment I, otherwise the loop will never end. So this is the while loop. So now the else statement in while loops. So the else statement in a while loop runs a block of code once when the statement is no longer true. So you can see right here in our example, we have the same while loop, but then we have our else statement, and it says else print I is no longer less than 6. So basically, once this loop ends, it'll go directly to the else statement and it'll print the condition in here. So you can see right here, our output would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 6 is no longer less than 6. So then here you can see it'll print out the statement and it'll say I is no longer less than 6. So this is the else statement in while loops. Now for loops. So a for loop is a loop used for repeating code a certain amount of times defined by the user. In Python, it is used for iterating over a sequence. So you can see our example right here. Foods equal to pizza, hamburger, and french fries. And then for x in foods, print x. So basically, this will just print out all the values in this variable. So for loops, it's basically repeating a certain number of times. It doesn't need to fulfill a certain statement like the while loop. It's just you specify how many times you want it to run and it'll run that amount of times. So the else statement in for loop, so you can see right here, the else statement in for loop specify a block of code to be executed when the loop is finished. So you can see right here, for x in range. So this is the range function, and basically what the range function does is it always starts from 0 and it always increments by 1, and then you just specify what number you want it to end at. So you can see I put 11 here, but 11 just means it'll stop at 10 because 11 is no longer less than 11. It's kind of like the while loop example we saw. So I put 11 right here, and because of that, it ends at 10, and then print x, so it prints all these numbers. And then in the else statement, it says else print we are finished. So once the loop ends, it'll print we are finished. So that is the else statement in for loops. Now the break statement. So in a while loop can stop the loop even if the condition is true. And in a for loop can stop the loop before it has looped through all the items. So remember, in a while loop, it'll only run until the condition is false. And in a for loop, it'll just run the specified amount of times. So the break statement basically stops the loop, like no matter what. So basically our while loop example right here, you can see it's the same loop. And then it says if I is equal to 3, break. So basically after like 3, it stops. Even though 4 and 5 are less than 6, because when we put our break statement, it's going to stop at 3. For our for loop, you can see it's the same loop. And then we have if x equal to hamburger, break. So our break statement is after the print. So because of this, it's going to print pizza and hamburger. Now for another example for the like for loop, you can see right here, our break statement is before the print, while here our break statement was after the print. Now, if your break statement is before the print, it's not gonna print out this value right here. So it just ends at pizza. But I printed it like in this example, the break statement was after the print, so it prints out hamburger. So those are the two examples for the for loop break statement. So now the continue statement. So the continue statement can stop the current iteration and continue to the next. So you can see right here, our while loop, I is equal to 0, while I is less than 6, the increment is 1. If I is equal to 3, continue. So basically what this does is it stops the current iteration. So you can see right here, there is no 3. And it continues to the next. You can see right here, it has printed out 6. Now, if you see for the for loop, it's the same thing. So foods, pizza, hamburger, french fries, for x in foods, if x equal to hamburger, continue. So basically it stops the current iteration, so it stops hamburger, and it prints out french fries. So this is the continue statement. Now nested loops. So nested loops are loops within loops. The loop inside will be executed one time for each iteration of the outer loop. So again, we have an example. So we have some adjectives: juicy, big, tasty. And our fruits: apple, banana, orange. So you can see right here, for x in adjective, for y in fruits, print x, y. So you can see right here, basically what'll happen is it'll take each adjective and put it with each fruit. So our output would be juicy apple, juicy banana, juicy orange, big apple, big banana, big orange, tasty apple, tasty banana, tasty orange. So you can see right here that each adjective goes with each fruit. So that's a nested loop. And also just notice that these are both for loops. So it's a for loop within a for loop. I just wanted to make that a note of. So now that is it. So let's just go over and review everything. So we looked at loops and like what are loops. Then we went over the while loop, the for loop, and we also looked at the else statement in both loops. Then we went over the break statement. So what is a break statement in while loops and for loops? The continue statement, what is the continue statement in while loops and for loops? And finally, we looked at nested loops. So guys, that was it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video and turn on notification bells so you'll be notified every time I make a new video. And don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and family. But that is it guys for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!